circling right out here next to the water. There's something about this camera is you can barely see what you need to see in the daytime. See where they flapping? Where they're having to flap over the water here. There's a water gap. But they riding thermals off the trees. Got these boys flapping over here in the distance. They did make a climb. They made a climb right off these trees, and then they all got kind of wonked around and they bailed on it. But you don't see them turning out over the water. They right here at the edge of the water. They're still riding the thermals from the land. Yeah, bird watching, man. Bird watching is, that's what I like to do. But all the buzzards are here probably because there's food around. Somebody probably has dumped some fish guts or something of that nature. I've gone over lakes before riding thermals. These guys just aren't fully committed in sending it. But you can learn so much from the birds, like how to fly an area. Look, these dudes are going up. But they're going up from the thermals that are triggered at the edge of this water. When that heat gets to the edge of this land over here, this little point that comes out into the lake, it all breaks off at the edges and it just keeps going up. That's probably why they're all over there flying that. You can see which way the wind's blowing on the water. It's blowing straight across out the way that point's looking right there. So all the thermal energy that's cooking on these trees out here, it's got nowhere to go but up at the edge of the water here. So I think that's why all these boys is staging themselves right here over those trees at the end of that point. They're just waiting on that next thermal cycle to release, and they should all go up. They're having to flap and struggle right now. Again, it's a difficult morning. You can tell it's broken just by watching the birds and how they're moving. You know that the day is broken. See, these boys are bailing. They coming over here anyway. They all bailing, look. They didn't like what they were getting over there. They were all struggling and flapping, so they're gonna come over here to this point. See how they're committing across the water? They're too low and there's no thermals off the water, so they having to flap out here. This one boy got high enough over here and he's able to do it, but the rest of them is, they left too low, so they had to use their alternative means of thrust. How about this guy, huh? I'm shooting a time lapse of the clouds too. They can do it. There's lift out there. You can work the lift. If you're good enough, you can work broken lift. I prefer it to not be this broken personally when I do it, but some people can make it happen. And sometimes you can scratch around hard enough that the lift does organize itself. And if you put yourself on a good line, where there's like a good lift line, a cloud street, so to speak, you can make some real distance on a windy day where the thermals are slightly broken up. Check that out, like a snake or something. Oh, went underwater. No, he didn't, he's back. What you gonna do, snake? You know, it's kind of a funny thing. Being an amateur micro-meteorologist, I've had real meteorologists tell me that I'm doing good, that I understand it, and that I'm explaining it correctly. And really, I did a lot of study. I did a whole lot of study on it. I did study a lot, but just the observation, just being a keen observer and looking at every little thing that I can about what's going on, I think that's the trick. I think doing that for years and years, and then being able to put myself out there on a wing and feel what it is that I just observed, that's been a huge part of it too. So I think as far as being a good pilot / micro-meteorologist, you just have to understand what's going on and have like a mental image of the way the air is moving, because it is always moving to some extent. It's rarely just pooled. In some circumstances, it is pretty dang still, and finding any amount of movement is difficult, but it doesn't happen often inland. There are some bowls and places like that down in canyons, things where you may get a total still pool of cold air, but it varies. It varies. But yeah, I'm fixing to shoot back over to camp, see what everybody's doing for breakfast. I think the weekend's almost over. There's some guys towing today out at Magnolia Municipal Airport. I think I'm gonna skip the towing. Just seeing what I'm seeing and flying in it yesterday and really not being able to sustain a climb. Today looks even I don't know. I don't know if it's worse. It looks about the same. It really looks about the same. We'll see what the day progresses. It's supposed to lay down a bit. If I see something that I like developing, they're out there, I could go, but I'm fixing to go hang out with the family for the time being and spend some time with my crew. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to give you a peek into that in just a second. But first, let's talk about what we're seeing here. This is from the previous day when I had those 3 attempts at towing where I failed to connect. Well, while we were setting up, I set the video camera up to do a time lapse of the clouds. And I was mentioning how the day was broken. Now, I've got a short clip here and I've just got it on repeat, but I thought I would talk about it with you just a little bit. Look at the clouds and look how they're not coming up very strong. The thermals are tiny, they're weak. There's little pieces of them that are broken off and blowing around everywhere. And again, if you got under one of these real good ones where there was some solid development, you could have connected with something. But the majority of what we see here is not very well developed, and they're just little strands of lift, and that's what I was out there scratching around in. Again, you needed just some real good luck and timing to connect on these. So I thought I would talk about it a little bit. Now, let's get back to the day at the lake. Now, this was the sky the day at the lake. You can see how the thermals were maybe a little more held together, but the winds aloft were still strong, and they were still ripping the tops right off of them. Again, I didn't like what I was seeing. I was able to take a longer time lapse. This is probably over the course of an hour that I was sitting here letting this thing film. And again, I just never saw anything that I really liked. And so I didn't think it was worth going over to the airport and trying to fly the day. I just spent the day at the lake hanging out. Check it out. You know, something just hit me. What's wrong with my camera? Why is it not working? Oh, there we go. Maybe you can see me. Maybe I'm just a shitty cameraman. Maybe I don't know. What do you think I am? Do you think I'm a better cameraman, editor, actor? Which I guess I'm the only subject, y'all. This is because I'm on the cheap. If I could hire people to do this channel, I probably would, but I'm just poor North Louisiana country boy, man. I make my own video and edit them and produce them and process them and all that stuff. But I was thinking, oh, my tonneau's up. That's hilarious. I'm just gonna leave it up and drive through camp with the tonneau up. But what I was thinking was, I've never had stage fright. I hear that that's a thing. Like even in school, doing like plays or speaking in front of the class or speaking in front of a crowd or doing anything like that. I never had that fear. And I hear that people do. I hear it's quite common and that it's quite rattling to people. I have people that have told me they can't launch if other people are watching, that it makes them nervous. You know, it's stage fright. That's what it is. And for some strange reason, I was not cursed with stage fright, I guess. I don't know if it's a curse or a blessing. It may be a good damn thing. It may be the reason most people have it is because it may be a good thing. Without saying that, I was thinking today, riding through that raunchy turbulence, you know, and I don't know if it was just a confidence that I understand how my wing reacts and what goes on with it, or if it's that I don't have like the fright, like the stage fright. I don't have fear really. I don't know. I've always kind of, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but that may be a thing. There's Chad. Let's see what's up. How's it going, Chad?
Hey, what's up?
You want to be on YouTube?
Yeah, sure.
You are. Right now, you are.
Right now. Is it live?
No, we're not live, but I basically put everything I record in there anyway.
Well, I still have a permagrin from my flight.
I edit out the farts. I stopped and shot a time lapse and drank a beer.
There you go. Outstanding.
Yep, it's good. I got the clouds going over the lake and I filmed some buzzards. Pretty fun stuff.
Perfect. Awesome.
Content creation, man. You gotta throw it in there when you can. Just when you're doing your regular shit, you gotta pull the old camera out.
I want to learn more about doing the whole video thing.
You just have to video shit.
Just video shit.
You gotta point that camera while it's on at stuff. That's cool.
Just keep talking.
I mean, you can edit. There's a lot of stuff that's not cool, but if you put the cool stuff in there,
it works.
It seems to. That's my personal thing. I make these videos, I film them, I'm like, okay, this is pretty fucking boring just to watch. What if I cut this whole part out and put to where I say this or where I do that? And and then you start playing with music. It's like a years of evolution type thing.
It's a lot more fun than TV, right?
Yeah, it is. It is fun in its own rewarding way. Even though you're doing everything. I was just asking the audience just a while ago as I was driving around. What was I asking them? Damn, that's why I recorded it. Oh, being the editor, the producer, the everything. Yeah, the actor. I said if I could hire somebody, I would. But I was asking which part of that do you think I'm better at? Because I know I suck at acting, but anyway, it was the whole conversation started with and it's weird having a one-way conversation.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
because you're talking to the people, you're talking to the audience. They're the ones that you're speaking to, so
sure,
it's
you gotta,
weird.
like, project that they're right here.
Yeah, and you got to look at them. You got this screen, but you got to look at the lens.
Yeah.
If they can see your eyes, that's.
Always keep the glasses on.
Well, I like the little screen because you can frame the shot, and then once you get, it's pointed at the right shit. You can do what you want to do.
So you do your composition.
I guess that's what it's called. Again, I never had any formal study. My brother gave me a camera and a computer, and he's like, "You can make videos with this." I was like, "Okay." So he knew I used to like to make them when we were kids. So that was his gifts to me for like Christmas and birthday. Dude, was awesome. Cameras and computers and.
Well, dude, obviously people love it, but you've got a couple thousand followers.
At least. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I guess so.
When does YouTube kick in on like funding and paying people?
Oh, they don't pay.
They don't pay.
They don't even pay the cost of production. It's all on me,
Yeah.
Now, I did a Patreon thing. Oh, Patreon guys, I guess I'm talking to you too. They like a tip jar. People throw tips like, it's like already like about as much as YouTube pays me per month. The Patreon guys have just donated. Yeah.
Just to keep it going.
Yeah, so I mean, if you add that together, it might break even roughly as far as time and effort. I don't know. I don't do much else. I live, I work, I fly, and I make videos when I can, so.
Dude, totally.
Yeah, it works out.
It's awesome. I mean, I got hooked on your videos. You and I communicated back 2 summers ago.
Okay.
I hadn't even gone to training yet, but I was watching your videos.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, dude, I'm in Dallas. I'm going to go get training.
What did I say?
You responded back. You're like, awesome. Reach out when you get your training done.
Okay. Nice.
So.
I try to communicate with everybody that asks a question that,
Dude, you were part of helping me get over.
Now, if they ask me something that's on 1,000 other videos, nowadays I can't hardly answer those. But, if it's a real life, like, this is me, this is you question, I can answer those. I try to. Hey, there's my mother-in-law. Hey, Ma!
Morning!
Oh, they probably just getting out of bed. Well, we go park this rig. Let's hang out.
All right.
Yep. I was riding along and I found a crow in the ditch and I thought he was hurt because I was able to pick him up. It turns out I think he was sick. What you gonna do?
Pick up a stick.
I hope it bites him. That's gonna be so funny.
It's not funny. You're so mean.
What you got there?
Melvin.
Old crow. Oh, he bites hard. No, not the thumb. Bite the finger. Oh, he got me. They bite harder than you think they can bite.
I'm not getting bit by him.
Let me stroke his whiskers. Maybe he'll let me go. Huh?
He's so soft. I'm gonna start pulling away.
Hold on, no, he's pulling flesh.
The girls are afraid of him.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't blame him. Ow, the closer he gets to the end, the more like pinchy it is. Oh, there we go.
Melvin.
Let him bite you.
No.
So Ian named the crow
Melvin.
I found him in the ditch. Oh, just trying to get the fuzz.
Oh, he'll
Put it down there.
No, it's a bird. Leave it alone.
Ready?
What's wrong with
fight.
him? No.
Gizmo don't want no part of that crow.
Think we can make crow taco? This is great, guys.
Is his wings okay?
Yeah. His wing's fine.
Oh shit, he bit me again. Quit it. It hurts.
Zoom in on that action.
You just gotta wait him out. He's biting down.
Hold on, I gotta stretch my butt.
Tripped him.
I think he's hungry.
I don't know what's up with him. He doesn't seem to be injured. His wing seems to be okay. Oh.
Maybe he just doesn't have a mate.
Maybe it makes him more comfortable, huh?
I don't know. Is its wing hurt?
Yeah, it looks like something happened. Flip his wing up again, Dad. Pull his wing up again.
He's gonna try to bite you.
He got a hold of me with his feet now.
Pull his wing up.
What? What do you see?
Oh, I thought I saw something red. One cute little thing, but vicious.
Is he drunk? Did he eat
I don't know
something
what's
like
up with this
toasted?
bird. He seems sick or something, right?
Yeah, he's sick.
Should we take him to a
We
vet?
have never been able to.
Here, you take this, Dad. Watch him. Hey, I'm gonna get him if he falls again.
And there he goes.
Yeah. Leave him alone, dude. Leave him alone.
Enough.
I like the bird.
I don't know a whole lot about veterinary medicine when it comes to avian species. If you know what's going on with this bird, let me know. I think he was sick. Every time we let him go, he would fly over to a tree, light on it, and then a few seconds later, he would fall down to the ground or fly down to the ground and then fall over on his back. So something was off with him. I'm not sure. He was definitely sick. We just left him alone. You know what I think? I think it's time for a little hair of the dog. What are we having today? We're having some Steel Reserve. I'm gonna try a little morning drinking. I hadn't drank in the morning in
Run by themselves.
some time.
Because I don't remember seeing a plug going anywhere. I kind of walked over there and
don't
looked
know.
some.
What?
Nothing. Morning, Ma.
Good morning. Where am I supposed to look?
Into this. That's where they're watching from.
Well,
I'm finna drink a beer.
what? At 9 in the morning? 10 in the
Shh,
morning?
don't tell them what time it is.
Is that really a beer?
Yeah.
Beer?
Steel
You drink
Reserve.
The weirdest stuff.
Slow brewed, high gravity
Where'd
lager.
you find that one?
At the gas station in Magnolia, Arkansas.
Malted barley
Yuck.
and select hops. Okay.
Steel Reserve.
That's
211.
What ounce is that? Like an 8 ounce?
No, it's 12-ounce beer. It's a standard beer, lager, slow brewed, whatever it is. Okay, video's over. We're gonna turn it off now.
Do you have a spare tire?
So, hey, I hope you enjoyed this little bird watching time-lapse session with Kyle. This is what I do, so much love, y'all. Kyle out.